Nicole Kidman has filed for divorce from Keith Urban after 19 years of marriage. The court papers show the actress will remain the primary caregiver of the couple's teenage daughters and reveal more details about what caused the breakup.
For nearly 20 years, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban seemed like the ideal Hollywood and Nashville couple, an Oscar-winning actress and a country music star who beat the odds. However, behind the glamorous events and their songs together, their marriage was falling apart. New court documents show that Nicole filed for divorce after 19 years, and sources say she tried hard to keep the marriage going. In his first public performance after the split, Keith did not wear his wedding ring, did not sing a love song for Nicole, and changed some lyrics, hinting at a different story. The image of them as a perfect couple has been damaged, and Nicole's perspective is now coming to light. We look closer at what made them admired and what caused the end of one of Hollywood's most famous love stories. Nicole, the shy kid who became Hollywood's queen. Nicole Kidman was born in Honolulu in 1967 to Australian parents working abroad. Her father, Anthony, was a psychologist and biochemist, while her mother, Janelle, was a nurse and teacher. When Nicole was a baby, the family moved back to Sydney, where they raised her in a household full of rules and big dreams. As a child, Nicole was quite shy and would blush deeply if a teacher called on her, which concerned those around her. However, she had a vivid imagination and found solace in activities like ballet, drama classes, and youth theater, where she could express the emotions she kept bottled up. By her teenage years, Nicole's talent became undeniable. The Australian film industry was thriving, and she made her entry with TV movies, eventually landing a role in the cult classic BMX Bandits in 1983. Her striking features and height helped her stand out, but her ability to convey raw emotion had directors buzzing with excitement. In the late 1980s, Hollywood came calling, and that's when she met Tom Cruise, her first major love, although their relationship ultimately ended in heartbreak. The two married in 1990, becoming a power couple that drew media attention everywhere they went. It seemed like a dream come true for Nicole, but it came with complications. Scientology played a significant role in their relationship. After their divorce in 2001, she didn't just lose her husband. She also lost primary custody of their adopted children, Isabella and Connor. This loss deeply affected her. Friends remarked that it felt as if motherhood had been ripped away from her, and the pain of that experience lingered. Given this backdrop, it's no surprise that when Keith Urban entered her life, Nicole was eager to rebuild the family life she had once lost. Keith, the rebel kid who found his sound in country. Keith Lionel Urban was born in New Zealand in 1967, the same year as Nicole Kidman. When he was young, his family moved to Queensland, Australia. His father, Bob, ran a corner store but had a passion for country music, which wasn't particularly popular in Australia then. Bob gave Keith a guitar when he was just 6 years old, and from that moment on, Keith was captivated by music and began performing. Country music's themes of heartbreak resonated with him, making it a perfect outlet for a boy with a restless spirit. However, his home life wasn't always smooth. Tensions and financial struggles often left him searching for an escape. Music became that escape, a form of therapy and a crucial part of his identity. As a teenager, Keith dropped out of school to pursue his passion for music wholeheartedly. With no safety net to fall back on, he dedicated himself to performing, taking on gigs in talent shows and dive bars. This experience helped him develop a brooding, outsider persona, blending country with a rock edge. In the early 1990s, Keith moved to Nashville, desperately seeking a breakthrough. After years of hard work in the music scene, he succeeded with his self-titled U.S. debut album in 1999. With his shredding guitar skills, tousled hair, and a voice that was both smooth and gritty, he quickly became a fan favorite. However, with success came challenges. He began to struggle with alcohol and other personal issues. By 2005, when Nicole entered his life, he had already battled with rehab. The highs of fame brought with them a risk of crashing, a reality he couldn't escape. How they collided, and it felt like fate. Nicole and Keith seemed mismatched on paper. Hollywood glamour meeting Nashville grit. However, beneath the surface, their past scars brought them together. Nicole was hurt by the control and loss she experienced during her relationship with Tom, while Keith was a live wire guy who had hit rock bottom but persevered. They met at the 2005 G-Day USA celebration in Los Angeles, a grand event for Australian expatriates in Hollywood. Nicole had just come out of her difficult breakup with Tom and was focusing on her resurgence as an Oscar contender. Meanwhile, Keith was Nashville's rising star, blending country and pop music. Initially, their connection was a slow burn. Nicole later joked that she thought Keith wasn't interested in her due to their polite conversations and then months of radio silence. This nearly derailed any potential relationship. However, when Keith finally called, everything clicked into place. Once the connection was established, it blossomed quickly. By May, they were spotted together, and by the end of the year, Nicole was referring to Keith as the person who brought her back from the brink. For her, scarred by Tom's scrutiny, Keith felt like fresh air, authentic and rugged in ways Tom had never been. For him, Nicole represented elegance and calm, the anchor he had always needed. By November, he accompanied her on red carpets, not merely as eye candy, but as her true partner. The press eagerly celebrated them as Australia's power couple, uniting across continents. In June 2006, just 18 months into their relationship, they tied the knot at Sydney's Cardinal Soretti Chapel. Nicole's Balenciaga gown and veil were stunning, while Keith sported long locks that captured his troubadour essence. A-listers and country music legends attended the ceremony, but the real magic was in the candlelit aisle, where he serenaded her at the reception. Fans swooned, witnessing proof that two wounded souls could come together and heal. The first cracks show up. That fairy tale always had weak spots. It relied more on grit than glue. 4 months after their vows, Keith checked into rehab for alcohol addiction. The newlywed glow, it was shattered. The tabloids swarmed, portraying Nicole as the fixer for a fixer-upper. It was rock bottom once again, humiliating for Keith, especially after swearing that her love would be the cure. Nicole went into full shield mode. She made visits but never showed any vulnerability to the cameras. She refused to let the vultures win. He would later say she saved him, but friends noticed the toll it took on her. She had lost her chance to mend things with Tom, so now she was all in on being Keith's rock. She believed in second chances and in him. Their ride-or-die mentality became their brand through richer and poorer. Although they had a shaky start, they turned it into proof that they were built to last. She continued to stack up film roles, like The Epic in Australia and the emotional punch of Rabbit Hole. He dominated the country charts, with Grammys piling up. To the public, it looked like all kisses and affection. She would gush that he had awakened her while he got emotional during his thank you speeches. Airport photos showed her managing their daughters while he carried the bags, a peak normal family moment. But their schedules clashed severely beneath the surface, his tours and her shoots. They had rules like no more than a few weeks apart, but insiders said those boundaries began to fray. Still raw from losing Bella and Connor, Nicole clung to having children. With Sunday Rose born in 2008 and Faith Margaret in 2010, she dove headfirst into motherhood. Keith adored being a father, but the demands of his road life often pulled him away. By the mid-2000s, the whispers of a fairy tale turned into creaks. They argued over his nights out and her intensity. They claimed to be stronger than ever, but the strain was evident in those seemingly perfect poses. When the pressure finally cracked it. As they approached their 10th anniversary, they had weathered more challenges than most people face in a lifetime. A surprising rehab honeymoon, globe-trotting separations, and the struggle of balancing fame with raising 2 young daughters. They had become symbols of perseverance. However, by the mid-2000s, whispers about their relationship grew louder. Conflict arose over schedules, Keith's bar tabs, and Nicole's desire for stability. They frequently brushed off these tensions with united photos and quotes like, "We're never better." But off the record, they were in constant negotiations. He sought freedom, while she craved security. It was a case of passion versus peace. Neither was in the wrong, but they were mismatched. The tabloids captured Nicole solo more often, while Keith appeared ringless on tour. In interviews, they avoided mentioning each other's names. By 2023 to 2024, insiders reported they were together but apart. For Nicole, dealing with the public scrutiny was brutal. She filed for divorce quietly to avoid the media frenzy, but Keith's remarks during performances made that nearly impossible. She found herself adjusting her public appearances, removing her ring at festivals, maintaining a steady smile, but with tired eyes. At the heart of the situation was the family. Losing Bella and Connor was a painful wound for Nicole. She was determined not to lose Sunday and Faith. Reports confirmed that the girls spent most of their time with her, while Keith maintained joint communication. There were no fights over alimony or child support. Their finances had long been divided. As for Keith, he didn't resist the split much. The demands of touring and an unpredictable lifestyle made him more of a part-time dad. Friends say that the situation affected him deeply. He loves those girls fiercely, but life's circumstances proved to be the breaking point. After the divorce filing, Nicole focused on being with her daughters and her work. They took walks in Nashville, with Nicole embodying the protective mom. For her, it was all about controlling what she could: the kids, her career, and her peace of mind. On the other hand, Keith expressed his feelings through music. His performances felt like therapy. Fans described them as heartbreak raw, often bringing him to tears on stage. While he captivated the audience, he also revealed the pain that Nicole had walked away from. What are your thoughts on their split? Share your opinions in the comments. We're eager to hear from you. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to check out the following video for more updates. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss anything new.